Welcome to Rogers Reports. I'm your host with the most Aston Villa content on YouTube. You can call me Rogers. I know it has been a while, but we are finally back on the channel, rebrand and all. You've probably noticed some changes around here. So if you are looking forward to more Aston Villa content in the future, be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below as we try to become the biggest Aston Villa channel on YouTube. But I thought today we need to kick it off. First video back in a little while, a couple of weeks, with some good positive news. I know a lot has happened and we're going to be catching up on everything on my new weekly show This Week in Villa, which will be coming out very, very soon. We've got the Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League, where we're doing really, really well at the moment. But I thought let's kick it off with a bit of classic Rogers Reports content, and that is going to be a bit of transfer news. As some stuff has come out over the past couple of days about one of the most promising 18-year-olds in world football. Now, I'm going to butcher his first name. It's like Sverre, something like that. Norwegian lad, surname of Nypan. And we're going to be looking at him because we have apparently beaten Arsenal to his signature in the summer. Currently plays for Rosenborg. We're going to be looking through all of his stats, why he is so good, looking at a couple of clips of him, and hopefully getting you excited about our new midfielder. And here we have his stats. Now, what you can see on the screen, it's going to bring up this season's statistics in the Elite Serie in 2025, where he's only played 99 minutes, 2 games, 1 start, 1 goal, blah, blah, blah. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen, he is a lot more experienced in men's football than that. 59 games and 14 goals for their senior team, starting from January 2022, when he would have been, 15 years of age. Now, you think of perhaps another Norwegian midfielder who started his career or broke into the scene at 15 years of age. And you'll realise that Mr. Nypan here, he has some big boots to fill. And will he be filling those boots for Aston Villa? Well, we will wait to see. But let's have a little look at his stats from last season. So this is from the 2024 Elite Serie over in Norway for Rosenborg, where he did, as you can see, manage quite the spectacular season. In just 2,114 minutes, he managed to get himself 8 goals from an expected goals of 8.3, so about there or thereabouts in terms of performing his expected goals to actual output. XG on target was only 6.26, so getting 8 goals from that actually isn't too bad. He did score from the penalty spot as well, which, if you're an Aston Villa fan, you are never going to turn your nose up at, because we got Asensio. We thought we'd maybe cracked the penalty code, because Watkins is very inconsistent. We had Tielemans is very, very inconsistent. But, Asensio then went and missed 2 against Southampton. So perhaps he wasn't the answer to our penalty woes that perhaps we first thought. But, again, I'll always take a penalty taker. I'll always take a penalty taker. He also got 7 assists from an expected assist of only 3.65. So vastly outperforming his expected there. Pass accuracy of 77.7%. Again, it's a different system to how Emery will be setting up. And when you're a centre midfielder in Emery's position, the amount of man management, the amount of tactics that go into our performance, all of our centre mids have a very, very good pass accuracy, because there's patterns of play that they like to follow, and it's a lot of short passes. We do go backwards, a lot to go forwards, so I wouldn't look into that stat too much. What I would say is fantastic percentages on the long ball and cross accuracy as well. 59.5% off of 47 accurate long balls and 12 successful crosses at a success ratio of 32.4%. Again, crossing, something that I feel like Villa are perhaps a little bit weak at. So anyone that has a good whip on them, a good chicken whipper, a bit of Swaz Tech, as Jezza Lynch, the best Arsenal Academy product in the world, says, is never going to go amiss for us. 39 successful dribbles last season put him at the top of the pile in that league. And not only did he complete that many dribbles, he also completed 56.5 of them as well, which is a very good success ratio. Most wingers in the Premier League at an elite level are floating anywhere between 30 and 40% most of the time. So very, very nice to see that from the centre of the park as well. It's not going to be as many one-on-ones as a winger, but again, a good metric to look at to consider how he might be on the ball. 1,250 touches, 99 in the opposition box. Also, is he a Jack Grealish regen? Am I going to say that every time someone wins a high amount of fouls? Probably. But he did also win 49 fouls over the course of last season for Rosenberg. He also won 31 tackles. 58.5% of his tackles were won. Again, I would direct you back to any video that I'd done on Diego Carlos before we sold him. He was winning about 11% of his tackles, I think it was, 11 to 15%. So there you go. Don't let the red confuse you. That's a decent amount of tackles won. 152 duels won as well. Wins over 50% of those. Aerial duels, again, we have Andre Onana. His head's like a brick and the ball is magnetised to it when it's in the air. So I'm not too worried about that. 16 blocks, 112 recoveries, one possession 15 times in the final third. Yeah, he gets dribbled past a lot. But again, seems with those amount of recoveries to make up for it. The positions played, as you can see on the screen, he pretty much can play, well, the main two that he can play is central midfield, centre forward, but he is pretty much anywhere from centre mid onwards. He's going to be relatively comfortable, right? He's an attacking player, obviously, 8 goals, 7 assists from centre mid last year, or a mixture of positions you can see on the screen. 11 goals and 7 overall from that centre mid position. He's played centre forward 7 times, getting a goal and 3 assists. Attacking midfield 4 times, getting a goal and an assist, and then 1 singular game as a defensive midfielder. You think of how Villa line up, we have our centre mid / defensive midfielders. You know, that's your Kamara's, Tielemans, Onana's. Sometimes Tielemans plays a little bit further forward. Then you have our attacking midfielder, our Asensio, our Tielemans sometimes, our McGinn sometimes, who slots in just behind that front focal point, a Rashford, a Rodgers, a Marlon, perhaps going forward in the future as well. So yeah, he can play in that position. I think he'd be comfortable, and I think he would suit an Emery style, an Emery system quite well. And as always, whenever a player is linked with Aston Villa, Arsenal, or any player or club like that, SVMM, link in the description, we'll make a video showing off what they can do. So let's have a little look at Nypan in action there. You can see him, the number 41. Picks up really good positions on the pitch there, and this is why his dribble success ratio was probably so high. If you have a 17, 18-year-old doing this against you, it's going to be very, very frustrating. You can see on the ball, very comfortable, good legs on him as well. Always seems to be covering a lot of ground. You can see on the ball, he's very, very strong. Strong beyond his years, I would probably hazard a guess. That's, I mean, a bit of a lucky goal, but we're never going to complain about a little bit of luck. But, you know, I'm trying to think of comparisons for him in terms of how he plays. Here he is on the ball here, number 41 as well. Great assist there. It's kind of hard because, you know, everyone wants to make comparisons with these players. You can see on the ball, he's very, very strong. He drives forward, he bursts forward. Now, obviously, your mind would instantly go to the other Norwegian centre mid, right? Martin Ødegaard. I love the fact there's just seagulls knocking around in their games as well. Fantastic goal there. Picks up the ball. Great strike on him as well. But you'd like to think of other players. Kevin De Bruyne springs to mind, the way he gets forward, the way he gets involved in the play, the goals, the assists, the powerful dribbling as well. Powerful dribbling always brings me back to those Spurs boys. Dembele at Spurs in particular, Moussa Sissoko at Spurs as well. Those powerful midfield dribblers that carry the ball forward. But he has that final product as well, that final pass that we're seeing there. And I mean, the eye test for this lad, I mean, it really, really is something to behold. You know, most of the time you look at the stats, you think, okay, let's see him in action. And again, I know that the level that he's playing at here is not the Premier League. However, he's also only 18. He's also only going to get better. Lovely bursts into the ball. A bit of a Frank Lampard. That goal, a bit of a Frank Lampard, arriving into the box late, getting on the end of those crosses and getting the goals. Now, when he picks up the ball here, you can see, again, what I like about him. And again, I'm going to bring up a player that perhaps you guys don't want to hear the name of. But Jack Grealish, he gets on the ball and his first thought is just, let's just get forward. Let's get forward and find that killer pass. Maybe a bit of a Morgan Rogers as well. Now, this is a big, big praise for an 18-year-old that's only done it in the Norwegian League. However, sometimes you just have to get excited about these types of signings. There's a reason. Oh, here's his penalty. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that type of penalty taker all day at Villa. There's a reason that the elite of Europe were interested in him. There's a reason that Aston Villa, with our scouting network, with our transfer prowess, you know, we rarely get it wrong at the moment. We do a couple of times, but most of the time we're getting it 100% right at the moment. There's a reason we would want this lad. There's a reason Arsenal, who are, you know, historically very, very good with their transfers as well, would want this lad. And it's what you're seeing on the screen here. There's a reason that an 18-year-old gets scouted like this. And when you watch him play, when you mix it in with the statistics that we've already seen, look at how he bursts forward. That's a fantastic ball as well. to find his teammate there. Look at him on the ball here. It's so easy for him. Strength beyond his years. Fantastic on the ball. Brilliant eye for a pass. Arriving late into the box to get goals like that. Have we just found the Norwegian Frank Lampard? Now look, I always try not to get too carried away when we sign these types of players. Sometimes 18-year-olds flutter out into nothing. They get lost in obscurity in the under-21s or the Premier League 2, or they get loaned out quite a lot. But it seems like Aston Villa really are building something for the future. You think of the transfer of Yasin Ozkan, another 18, 19-year-old who's played a lot of senior men's football. And I saw a thing somewhere, I'll try and pop it up on the screen if I can find it, that now Aston Villa, there's like this elite group of like football scouts or statistic people, you know, the nerds of the football world, shall we say, who put together like a list of the 20 or 25 most promising players under 19 years of age. Obviously top of that list, Lamine Yamal, the likes of that calibre of player. Now we would have 2 players in that top 20, 25, because Ozcan's in there, Nypan's in there. It seems like Aston Villa are building something. I would really like to see this kid at Villa. There's a lot of hype around him. I can't remember whether it's an actual transfer or whether it's like a pre-contract, so he'll just come when his contract runs out and we get him for free. Even better. I could see him going straight into the first team. You know, Aston Villa, we need boldness going forward. We need depth going forward, considering we are going to be a team now that you would imagine would regularly be competing in the top European competitions alongside deep cup runs. Hopefully, you know, FA Cup could go all the way this year, alongside pushing for top 5 consistently in the Premier League. If we can continue to get those co-efficient or cohort spot in the Champions League as well, that would be enough. This is a really, really exciting one for me. What do you guys think though? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, thanks for bearing with me whilst the rebrand was going on. You'll notice a load of changes, a load of new shows, like I say, a weekly show, hopefully coming next week if it can all get recorded. And I'll probably put it out on like Spotify as well as a bit of a podcasty type thing. So if you're enjoying all that stuff, leave a like. Oh, as well, subscribe. Oh, as well. Head over, I'll put it on the screen. There'll be a link down in the description as well below. If you have made it this far, head over to my X, my Twitter, because I'll be putting out weekly tweets effectively asking for questions and topics for my weekly show, and as well anything that you want covered on the YouTube channel as well. I'll see you guys soon. Up the Villa.